Good evening, group. I'm putting this together on Monday night since we're going to be rather busy on Tuesday morning with our speaker, Abby Rubley from Michigan State University. So I'd like to talk to you about three things. It seems to be I'm always running two or three themes for you. First off, in regards to class business, we need to get the class vote finalized for the items. So your nominations are in, and that's closed out. So I will send these over to Tiana and the other class officers. They will vet through them, pick the top three from each of the categories, and then we'll get a vote on Thursday. I'd like to have this done by Friday, so we'll leave the voting open for Thursday and Friday. Those who are absent on Thursday can do it on Friday. I'll have Tiana make a notice to give to Mrs. Neubauer, who can then tell those students who don't have me that the portal is open and they can vote. So that's the only thing we need to take care of for the senior class. The picture looked good, so thank you very much. I'll get that out to you soon so that you can do as you wish with that. I'd like to talk to you real quickly about your work with the Bill Gates article, which I hope you found interesting. I found that a rather fascinating piece. On that, one of the things that I use that piece for, and I've used similar pieces, is to teach this massively important lesson from history about the sense of community, and for those who have wealth, how they should view that and ultimately what they should do with it. So, all this history is rather meaningless unless we can take lessons from it that can then be applied to where we are right now. That is the study of history, the proper application. And Gates, I hope you understand, there's a PowerPoint for you where I offer you a whole bunch of points. I'm not going to elaborate on all of those. It's too lengthy. And then I give you samples from the class. And some of you had some really good answers. And so I have 4 samples, one from each class that you can look at in terms of how you connected Gates to the Medicis of the Italian Renaissance. But for me, this lesson that Bill Gates and others like him, Warren Buffett, a close friend of his, how they are taking their massive wealth and they have determined that they are going to use this in their life now, and then when they're gone in perpetuity, that they will use their wealth to make this a better world. They understand first and foremost that as a person of power and holding great resources, that they have a responsibility to do something with that, and that something is to create a better society right now and a better society in the future. So what a wonderful gift people like Bill Gates and Melinda Gates do for the Gates Foundation, Warren Buffett. They have dedicated, if you're not familiar, they've already said that their wealth, apart from an amount for their children, is going to go totally for their endeavors, from education to agriculture, sustainable agriculture, fighting climate change, fighting diseases. They are doing the work that will make this a better world. And as the Medicis had this vision to use the arts and culture, to use government, they were very important in the city council. You probably didn't come across that, but the Medicis ran the government. But they used that power to look for ways to empower other people. The short of it is they understood that we are responsible to not just those around us, or those perhaps in our state or in our country, but we're responsible for people we've never met, for people who we might see no relevance to their life, their plight. But Gates understands, and Buffett, they understand this truth, that when other people are empowered, when other people have hope, there will be less disease, there will be less conflict, there would be greater wealth and prosperity. In short, many of the problems that we worry about can be answered, at least to a degree, by doing the work that they're using their resources to. So, I mean, that's good news. It's wonderful and to know that, but we know that they're doing the right thing by looking at what the Medici's did and how great things can be accomplished. So I hope you're pulling this together, that this is why we study history, that we can take these great, great lessons and build upon them and understand them, and then use our power and wealth to build now and in the future that better world. So I hope you look over the PowerPoint. I think there's some wonderful examples from various classes, the groups, and hopefully you'll consider some of my additional points that I make. The last thing I'd like to talk to you about, forgive me, I'm changing my notes over here to the last page, and that is the tests. The tests will be released by the time you see this, and some of you are still struggling. I've had some people write me. I know some of you who are used to getting really high test scores, and you do very well, and you find testing not to be too challenging. The testing in my classroom for the 26 years I've been here and my years when I taught in Kansas City, my testing has always been challenging. I'm requiring you to apply logic and reason, to take what you know and then apply that and to think with it, not just to give it back to me as something that you've memorized. So one of the biggest tips that I can give you is don't just memorize this stuff. Just don't look for short answers. So as you go over your objectives, your vocabulary, and you just spit back the same answer time and time again without thinking through intellectually, well, what does this mean? How can this be applied? What's the larger context for these ideas? Because oftentimes in my testing, I will pull this information up. I will expect you to do something with it. And my questions in my testing is often built that way. To me, that's understanding, that's measuring comprehension and understanding, as opposed to having something where you simply spit answers back to me that you are already familiar with. So yes, I understand you have it. It's challenging. Students get better, I've found, as they do my testing. The experience will help you, but again, I go back. You have to study in such a way that you look at the information in terms of unpacking it and then looking what it means and how it can be applied, as opposed to simply just listing those objectives and then memorizing them. That won't buy you a lot of love on my tests, nor much of a grade. So let's continue to work on that. Let's build. Your daily scores will keep you up. Remember, I build this in such a way that you can still get a very good score. I understand some of you are very sincere and you wish to do better and you wish to understand this. And I think my testing is more of a reflection of what your college will be like. Maybe not just community college, but certainly as you move on to university. So that ability to reason and think with knowledge is a vitally important understanding that you can have as you move to the workplace and to a school beyond high school. So I wish you well, guys. Some of you will probably have already seen you at the speaker series. I hope you enjoy Abby. She is a marvelous, marvelous speaker, and I think her work is so important. And I think her connection, what she does in Africa, in the developing world, is a representation of what we just talked about. Her work, the importance of it, is displayed and understood through the context of the vision of what the Renaissance was trying to accomplish, those great thinkers. So have a good day, group, and I'll probably talk to you next in a couple of